Ladies and gentlemen, now we are starting our great show. It's no bullshit show about news about all upcoming events which already done on this interesting year 2021. I want to remind you that we are on the next phase of the coronavirus, of the corona, all of this stuff. And now what we see that crypto as usual also on the top, all-time high at all the position, and we are with the best mood going on this new upcoming year with our, of course, distinguished guests. Today, our guest, our, very interesting person from New York City is Constantin Kogan. Constantin, hello, nice to meet you here. And as usual, our faces on DTV, Rico, Patel, Chieh, and of course, our lady, the person who's going to be spread this interesting news to our audience, Catherine Ross. Your turn, go ahead.
Hi everyone, welcome to 2021 year.
Happy New Year.
Existence.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hopefully it's going to be just a better year for everyone in every sense of the word. I'm just going to go straight ahead to news. My job here on this particular segment is to go through the most important headlines in the crypto space and or related topics and sort of see what you guys think. First of all, I'm very excited to see you all here. Thank you, everyone. And Sergey, for that ordinary or usual or typical remarks. It's just like, there's Constantin and there's the usual, But anyway, I'm just happy to see you all guys here. And let's just start right away. So what we have seen this year, it sounds big, but I mean, this 12 days is the crypto, what a lot of experts call a crypto bull run. I mean, I'm not talking about the last 3 days, but I'm talking about like since December 16th, where Bitcoin reached 20K for the first time in history. And since then, the price has been going up to 41K. That's the limit. That's the record right now. So actually my question is pretty simple, and I think you all know what I'm going to ask you. But first of all, there are a couple of questions. First of all, what sort of the crypto craze we are experiencing right now? Is the bull run over? Because right now I'm looking at TradingView, and to be specific, Bitcoin is trading at $34,339 right now. So it's not the biggest price that we've seen. The question is, what's going on? Is the bull run over? Who's behind it? And what to expect next? But as I'm sure you know, I don't actually expect you to be a John McAfee, some sort of guy. I just want you to sort of give us solid background and solid answers on that. And I will start with Mru because I expect he has a lot to say. Hi, Mru.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, everybody else. So my view is, and it was kind of like predicted. And if you recall what we talked about in December, and I put everyone on the panel to get off the fence and make a call, what will happen? I think Rico, myself, and Ton Vase kind of like hit it on the head, and it's happening. So we said this would get to be above 25,000, and I said if we are lucky, we'll get to 30,000 by the end of 2020, which happened. So we kind of like called it. Then we said there will be some pullback. Why will there be some pullback? Because if anything goes up that fast, like a mountain, all investors take profit. No matter who you are, they take some profit. This is just basic science of investing. And what's happened in the last quarter, Q4 of 2020, majority of the new money came from huge whales, huge investment funds, huge institutions, huge banks, etc., etc. Okay? And those guys do exactly that. They play stupid games. And that's what we are into. We are into that phase of that stupid games where when you dump and pump 100, 200 million, you can play the market, okay? And people look at whatever they look at, being whale traces or whatever they look at, that moves the market and everyone follows. Because let's be honest, in the last 2 quarters, we've also accumulated a lot of what I call the stupid naive users or investors who just follow because they see Bitcoin on the news making big money and the FOMO being created. So they just buy whenever they, oh, we have Bitcoin. I have so many calls of people asking, shall we invest in Bitcoin today? And I don't want to go into long answers for that, but you get a lot of that FOMO happening, just like what happened in the dot-com days. So now what we are seeing is a phase where there will be some retrace. I don't think it will go below 30, maybe 28, but we will not get back to the 19,000 in the immediate future. I cannot see that. Okay. What I do see is after this pullback, and it's already happening, it went down to almost 30, 32. It's now to 35 approximately. And I can see it coming back and playing that game until my big marker is the SEC thing on Ripple. Why is that important? Okay. When the SEC make a ruling on Ripple, they'll be sending a huge signal out to the crypto world on how crypto should be legislated, ruled, traded, etc. That's why if you look at some of the altcoins, the Moneros, the Zcash, the Dash, etc., they went up. Same with some of the blockchains which do privacy-based stuff going up, like the Stellar, for example. Why did they go up? Let's not get political, but with Biden and his policies, now they will go after ultra high net worths, big corporations, and they will try and tax a lot of this. They got to get money back from all the people who've been spending so much money, and they've been quantitative easing is the right word, but printing money. And I can see another 3 trillion being printed within a few weeks of Biden going in. I really can see that. So someone has to pay for it. So the ultra high net worths, the big institutions, all the people who are putting their money in cash or other stocks will say, these things will go down. And where do I put my money? So they're going into crypto. BTC being the king of all store of values, a lot of it goes there, and it correlates to some of the other alts. So that's the core reason why you will see this growth going on. That coupled with COVID, that coupled with China and the what I call the cold digital war happening are some of the reasons, but we will go into that later. Let's hear it from some of the other guys as well.
Thank you, Catherine. If you don't mind, yes, I would like to add a little bit pour oil on the flames and ask to the Wall Street. I don't know, refer to the Wall Street. Is it the Wall Street games, or is something another kind of game, or I don't know, happening in the world? Because now we see all the institutional investors and all the people with the biggest money on earth making this game, and we are out. Unfortunately, now is the fact. That's why my question to the Constantin Kogan.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I mean, it's a lot of honor. So ironically, I did have an office like literally on Wall Street. So now I'm sitting at home. So it doesn't matter anymore. So to answer your question, I think there are a couple of factors. So I do agree with Maru. So there are different geopolitical factors. And again, I'm not to go into this topic because I'm just like, I'm trying to stay away from the politics. And as you know,
based in New York, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's not the most like rational thing to do right now because everyone's so spiked about it. So I will just state a few facts. So I don't know if you've seen the Wall Street Journal recently like made an incredible article where they actually try to decipher the negative and the positive sides of the Bitcoin. Is very interesting how they.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now they're like, you've seen in Financial Times, the first page, like, and if you compare it to a few years ago when it was like a very negative narrative, now it's kind of becoming like, okay, so this is a new asset class, like take a look at it. So it definitely switched. I will not even I will not be able to count all the institutions that joined the game, but we will talk about the biggest one, right? So as you probably noticed, like PayPal, after, I think PayPal is one of the catalysts, what happened into the crypto industry last year. And the reason why, I think, with having like them having like millions of users, they have like 24 million businesses, they have hundreds of millions of users, and it's still not like adopted like fully. So what happened recently was interesting. In January 6th, before that, we had $129 million in a daily volumes. So like, that people who actually, daily volumes, the people who buy and sell, crypto on PayPal. Now, now it is about to, we broke a number of $242 million per day. So this is a very substantial number. I want to probably emphasize this, because we're looking at the increase of, if we're taking out like just ballpark percentage, 950% increase, like, since January 1st. So that speaks to itself. That on the other side, we're seeing that a lot of the analysts, they're contemplating that it's still not fully adopted. There's like a small percentage of PayPal users who are actually like, I honestly, I haven't tried yet, even on PayPal, because I don't need it. We have other sources. But I'm looking at this, and I'm sure it's gonna increase. So the demand is, becoming higher and higher. Now, if we're looking at some folks like Guggenheim Partners, I'm sure you've seen the interview, which is like, CNBC, Bloomberg, everywhere, where like, the CIO of Guggenheim Partners predicted like, what was like $350,000 or $400,000, and the host almost choked himself. Like there is there is like a Fed meeting afterwards, and I'm ready to postpone it. That's a quote from his interview. Like, and I want to understand what's behind your rationale of this price. And they gave some couple of reasons, store of value, scarcity, other. But what is interesting? Recently, they issued another statement on Twitter that they're going to fix their profits. Exactly what Mo was saying, about 33K. They're now looking at to basically profit-taking model. Like, they're bullish, but they're trying to also take the benefit of this bull run and be conservative in a way, because they're still, their strategy is rather conservative if you compare it to crypto traders. And I think all of those factors with the folks who are now entering the market are the impact. Another important factor, the treasury reserve play. So as we've seen in the industry, more and more companies like MicroStrategy, Square, and many others, they're now transferring their shares into Bitcoin and buying billions of dollars. So that's a huge influx. And we're looking at people who are not traders. We're looking at people who actually view it as a store of value, 100-year view. They're not looking to buy and sell intraday or even monthly, annually. They're looking to preserve value. So the other aspect is backed. I'm sure you've seen another announcement, which is interesting. They're going to NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, and their valuation is about $2.1 billion. They predicted recently that by 2025, the market cap will be more than $5 trillion. So we've already surpassed $1 trillion, which is a very important step. And I think the more it's going to grow, the harder it will be to manipulate the price. This would happen with the announcement of futures, like on CME and CBOT. So that was the catalyst where there's a huge manipulation of price. And I think it's already known in fact, so I'm not going to say anything new here, but now it's getting harder and harder. So even for big crypto whales or big hodlers, you cannot do the profit taking on a massive scale, because the other folks are actually long-term players. That is why I will not, again, Catherine asked not to be John McAfee. I'm not even trying to. So there will be no numbers, but I would say that I'm pretty bullish. I'm still bullish on this year, and any predictions we were looking at, JP Morgan, I predicted it was be more than 150,000. People are saying by the end of the year, 50,000. I think that it's all possible. We don't know, but I do believe that the 30K is a kind of now a very important resistance.
You have to make a call, Constantin. On this show, you got to get off the fence. We all say what we think the price will be. None of this sitting on the fence.
If
You're
you really
muted.
want to make a call on a serious note, I'm not interested to do that, and I will explain you why. For example, we as an asset managers in Wave Financial, we piggyback on the volatility. So one of our hedge funds is trading covered call options. So for us, huge spikes, like they're not so beneficial. We
Yeah, but
prefer.
you don't do futures. You don't manage futures. You do derivatives at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So on that, where do you see in the futures market what the price of Bitcoin will be? Get off the fence.
Listen.
At least around, right? So are we going to see 40K in the nearest future, or 40K ish? Are we going to go over, like an approximate range at least?
We're starting the year.
It depends for what period of time. I think it's very
Oh,
important to
he's
specify.
dodging.
Like if you want to do it, no, I mean, if you want to make some kind of like, again, out
End of
the
Q1. All right, let's make it easy for you. End of Q1.
End of Q1. Yeah, I think we may easily come back to 40 and even surpass it. Yes.
Well done.
Actually, the truth is, from what we've seen, and I'm sure you will agree with me, nobody knows what's going to happen to the price. Nobody. That's the truth. Everybody who's watching, nobody knows. That's it. Bye.
It's not about knowing, Catherine. It's not about knowing.
Yeah, I know.
It's about experience, seeing what's happened with past scenarios, looking at the momentum. Some of the things I covered, some of the things Constantin covered, like the PayPal, what he was saying there about the PayPal is what I said. There's lots of naive users coming in. And that's just PayPal with 200 million coming in through what I call majority being naive users. Okay? They are not in blockchain. They haven't been buying, selling crypto on a daily basis, heard about it and starting to dabble on it. And there are so many platforms like that. So, it will get to 1 trillion again, in my view, within 6 months, another 1 trillion very easily. Because it's like what happened in the .com days before it burst. Okay, if you see the parallels there, when the .coms happened, I was getting 10x, 20x within 2-3 months. It's not a problem, and we are seeing that now.
I know what you're saying. It's just the truth is that nobody knows for sure. There are analysts, there are traders, there are enthusiasts, there are critics.
Yes.
And yeah, so the truth is that one of my favorite interviews that I did was with Brian Kelly from CNBC, and he told me that he is right 50% of the time, and that's like, I think this is the highest percentage I've heard of, like 50% of the time. To be right 50% of the time, and this market is like, woo, yeah. Okay, so I'm super excited to hear what Rico has to say. Do I need to repeat the questions, or do you remember them?
Why don't you repeat the question again for the guesses?
Okay, so we are looking at what's going on with the current crypto craze, with the bull run. Are we going to see the bull run coming back on its feet despite the recent 3 days? Who's behind it? If you have heard who's behind it, let me know. I want to write a story about it. And where do we go from here, and how high or how low?
So from our point of view, the price will be going down. We've been advocating to go below 30,000. Possibility of hitting 25 to 26,000 first, before we may go a bit up again. Who are the ones behind this? All of us are in this.
Yes.
Patel is definitely part of this as well, because yeah. So I think the guys who are pushing the price up are obviously the institution. For obvious reasons, Muru said a lot about it earlier on, and probably we are the guys who wants to go down. So
because we want to buy.
not only us, a lot of people are just waiting for the dip. But we always tell them, don't wait for the dip and don't try to catch a bull run. So just buy whenever you need to buy and you feel like buying. So I think looking at the price this few days is pretty good. It's on a downtrend. So a lot of us can actually catch the downward trend in buying in. So that shouldn't be an issue for most of us. But for Q1, the Chinese New Year is just around the corner. It's about a month from now. So for this coming month, I think Jelly will also add in on that. We see that some of the Chinese bills and investors might be going on a holiday mode. Whether we like it or not, that's the fact. And we all know that the Chinese market contributes a big volume in the whole crypto market as well. So we foresee that the price may be dipping a little bit more, but at the same time, looking at what is going on in the States with Wall Street and everyone else, they may be hedging over, depending on how the politics goes in the next couple, like a week from now, with whether Trump, Biden, whatever happens. Constantin will update us later. But I foresee that there will be a huge spike, right before the Chinese New Year, and then it will go down again. So by Q1, we predict the price to be around 40 to 50 grand.
How much, Rico? What did you say?
40 to 50. 40 to 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
it's just like a quick spike that we're gonna see, or is it something that it's gonna stay in the long term?
There may be some flash pump and flash dip. We foresee that to happen.
So what we're seeing, basically what we're seeing right now is just a bit of a correction of the price, right?
Yes, pretty much we wanted to see a flash dip. I think we saw a little bit of it, not the full dip. And we were expecting to see it dip further. But I think there are lots of resistance, and Constantin is aware of that as well. There are lots of resistance trying to push back up. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So see, Maru, you have the number 4050. I hope you're pleased.
No, he doesn't have 4050 yet. I think he's still thinking about it.
I have a number. I have a number.
I actually
it's not 40 or 50, right, Maru, from your side?
I think it will be around 52, 54 by end of Q1.
End of Q1, right.
End of Q1.
Okay.
But as I said, it largely depends on that SEC thing with Ripple.
Yeah. It does.
That is the big trigger we got to watch out for.
But to everybody who's watching, this is not investment advice. Please do your own research.
Yes, this is not
definitely not an FA, not for any one of us.
Do your own due diligence. Yep.
Okay, and then
we're just bullshitting here.
Okay.
No.
I have a question to Chieh. Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Chieh?
Chieh.
Chieh. Hi, first of all, hi, welcome. And what do you think about the current run with the crypto prices, and where are we going from here?
I'm glad I speak less because everyone answered my questions. Basically, I agree, right, for most of you. My target for end of Q1, 40 to 45K. That's my target. And because I'm running a derivative exchange, so let's talk about the activity we have for the past few weeks. It was quite incredible. We have lots of new people coming up to sign up to our platform, which is good. Bad thing is for our support, like they basically complained to me or the other managers saying that, hey, so many dumb people asking dumb questions because they don't know anything about trading. So I can see this is kind of like back in 2017 when people really get firsthand into the crypto and they just follow, they just follow the trend. They say, oh, right now is a good time to buy because all the big institution coming in and with a strong support. So all new player coming in with zero knowledge, and then they don't know what to do. So I can see this happening in my exchange. And for myself, if running an exchange, you don't want to see a continuous bull run. It's just not healthy for us. We have to hedge lots of funds outside of our exchange. So right now we see some correction, which is good for us. And like Rico said, Chinese New Year coming. So for Chinese, basically Asian, is gonna take a holiday. I'm in a holiday mood already. I have been in Hong Kong for 1 year. Oh my God, I want to go out. I can't. So yeah, we will surely will see more correction coming in, but by end of Q1, I think the price will back to still like 40 to 45K.
Guys, let me I add my few of Satoshi to your conversation, because despite of no one of us knows, I don't know, the price correction or knows whenever this crypto goes, I expect that someone or exchanges see the whole picture. They clearly see how people come to the platform, what do they do with the candles, where the liquidity ready to go. And I see, in my point of view, Chieh maybe some have that kind of information, because he see the movement of the people, he see the movement of the candles upcoming on exchanges. In my point of view, exchanges have that information. Am I right or not, Chieh?
No, I'm still bullshitting here.
Okay.
No, just don't take my word as advice, okay? What I can tell you what I see, but don't take my word.
There's an honest man.
Same here. We are all bullshitting. So
Yeah,
the
that's why
the lowest all-time high in 2021 is going to be 50,000.
Yeah. Is that bullshit or that's your speculation?
Just look at his face.
That's what Rico says on what today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So no.
Let's
sorry.
get to the next question, Catherine.
Yeah. So before we go to the next question, where we're going to talk about Mark Cuban's recent comments, I do want to say just a couple of details regarding the investment money that is about to come. I want to mention that the CEO of Intercontinental Exchange has announced that they're going to be offloading a big portion of their crypto business and basically creating a Coinbase for points in crypto. And he was talking to Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer is the CNBC host of Mad Money and the CEO and founder of ThinkTank. So he said that he was trying to trade over the weekend, Jim Cramer, and he said that he sold his Bitcoins and he's going to become a buyer again whenever it goes under 20K. But the point that I'm most interested in is he said that with all the resources that he has, it's still pretty difficult for him to trade. So my question is to actually, and this is pretty great that everybody is from different places, and I want to ask you to for our readers, oh sorry, not readers, this is just a habit, I'm sorry. Readers, yeah. So for our viewers, how do we start trading today in crypto and where do we go? Like if you're based in Hong Kong, if you're based and elsewhere in Asia, or if you're based in London, right? So what are the first steps to do and where do we go and where do we start right now, right? Because despite the crypto being here for a while, and the crypto trading has been like, again, for a couple of years, it's still pretty, difficult and complex for people to come in. So this is like an off top a little bit, but I feel it's important to everybody who's watching and who's not that experienced and would like to sort of test those very delightful theories of ours today. So where do we go?
But do you have those sorts of really real newbies watching this, Sergey?
I don't think so, because
I didn't think so.
Yes, my audience are already
They're already in here, I think. They're already in this business.
Yes,
his audience already in here.
Okay, imagine that you're talking to me. Imagine that I don't know anything.
Okay, we'll do it. I'll do an offline coaching with you. It'll cost you, Catherine.
Okay, thank you. No, okay, then, then let's try to be quick. And I'm asking this for a reason. Hope I might come back to it. Like,
what's your reason? We'll answer it in very few words.
Episode, because this is not like the topic for today. But what platforms do you trust today?
None of them.
Great.
Okay,
I expected that. Yeah.
None of them. None of them. Everyone has their pluses. Everyone has their minuses. We have our own exchange. Everyone has their pluses. Everyone has their minuses. So all depends what you want to get. If you are a newbie, I would say go on a exchange that is not complex. Stay away from all these MT4s, Binance, Krakens.
What is
It's
not complex?
complicated.
So you said not
Overbid, it's
complicated.
simple.
Yeah, it's too complicated to buy. Stay away from derivatives. Sorry, Overbid.
What are the options?
If you are new to crypto, stay away from derivatives. It's volatile enough before you start predicting 1 minute, 30 seconds, and 5 minute. By the way, Chieh, I used to be CEO of Xcoin and I've left because how corrupt it is. I will say, okay? Because that's how it is. Derivatives for newbies, stay away from it.
Okay.
Third thing,
Options.
stay away from new tokens that you don't understand how to do staking and all this complicated stuff like how to even open an account is difficult. Stay away from it. Just stick to top 2, top 5 Bitcoin, Ethereum. If you're a risk taker, XRP, Stellar, just look at the top 10, 20. At least put your foot in there on a simple platform.
I think what Catherine
with
said
all those
is
complicated things because simple guys don't understand it.
To purchase the Bitcoin, like I think what Catherine said.
Yeah, so stay away from big exchanges. She asked
well,
which exchange.
But then you still have to have a step to to step into crypto. Like how do you buy crypto?
Yeah, Chieh, understand. There are so many wallets, so many simple places to buy it. If you're in America, like Coinbase, okay? If you're in America, Coinbase. If you're in UK and places like that, you've got all the Robinhoods, Cobinhoods, eToros of the world. So many of them. If you're in Asia, you do have, the easier versions like the Huobi's and actually Kraken is more American, but you do have the easier platforms to do this. PayPal, what Constantin mentioned. For the naive people, do it through PayPal. A lot of people do it through their wallet. So even if you're N26 or Revolut or Wirex, all these people.
App.
Yes, so many of these wallet providers do it from your wallet. So don't go and venture out unless you know about it and just buy and hodl rather than get, a heart attack with the momentum and the volatility.
Okay, and Sergey, to your point of viewers, I'm bringing my viewers mostly from Benzinga right now and from different places, and they are traditional stock market traders. Okay. They're very interested in how to get it. Yeah. But to my second point and second recent headline, which again Constantin has already mentioned, but Bakkt is going public, and it is doing so with a SPAC company. And I think I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard about it. I mean, again, Bakkt is going public. It is using a SPAC company to do it rather than direct listing. They're trying to raise money, and so to sort of they're trying to raise money to expand the operations, to provide more liquidity, stuff like that. My question is actually, in general, it's not the first company that is related to crypto and that is doing something with crypto, like Bitmain last year, right? So it's like a mining company, but still it's a Bitcoin mining company. My question is, what does it say about the industry, the crypto industry that typically has different philosophy? What it means for a company related to that to go public, to use traditional types of funding. So is it good? Does it mean it's a mass adoption happening right now, or it's not what was supposed to happen? So it's a more philosophical question, but yeah. And I think we will start with Rico unexpectedly, not Maru. I'm sorry.
I think you should let Maru start first.
Always you ask me. Go on, you be on the start for a change.
Yeah, don't.
Let other express.
Yeah, I think
me first.
What we do is I sort of ask Maru tells the different throws ideas out there.
I always like to hear what Maru said first.
Yeah.
Because you want to go for his words.
Yeah.
And I want to say hello to Jorge. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Jorge.
Constantin, please please jump in.
I'm happy to start because I actually think there are different hardcore crypto maximalists. They might be against it, because it is not what they would expect, but I do believe it's a very positive aspect, and I'll explain why. Because first of all, when companies like Coinbase, for example, will be public, which they already announced as well, right? So it will, first of all, when you're public, you need to disclose all your financials. You need to disclose a lot of information, which is actually very exciting because we don't know anything about Coinbase besides that's the biggest, basically onboarding, wallet exchange in the United States, and the fun fact that if you look at the growth of such companies, they had 25 million users in less than 3 years. I mean, just to compare for someone who's from traditional background, Charles Schwab, it took them 30 years to have 25 million clients. So it actually, it's very exciting because the demand is there. People need secure, easy access. You as Member mentioned, something with clear user interface. We need to 2 clicks, not to go into your hardware wallet, other options. Not to overcomplicate your life. And I think it's very important also. To answer your previous question, I think about exchanges also, it is also very important where you are. Because if you're, let's say, in New York State, for example, you have a concept of bit license, or you're a lot of other exchanges are closed. I cannot enter them unless I use VPN, not to say it publicly.
I'm sure from Kiev, someone from Kiev has a VPN.
Yes. But and same in other parts of the world. So they're also subject to a specific jurisdiction and what they allow. And again, Chieh may talk more about it because I'm sure he's familiar with those compliance and legal hurdles. And the other aspect, why it's positive, because of the public companies. If you think about it, what's going to happen right now in FTX? If you look at the other derivative exchanges, they're trading Coinbase shares right now. And I was following from day one. I wanted to buy very early. Now it's about $300. So, it's already mimicking the valuation, not $8 billion, somewhere close to $80 billion.
Holy shit! Really?
Huh?
Really? 80 billion is the market cap for them?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, if you would compare the price of the value of the future contract that they're buying in.
Yeah.
No, so the valuation is not 8 billion because it would never be $300 per share. And it's not even public yet, So what I'm saying, the demand is there and people are actually accepting it very favorably. So if companies who are crypto companies will become more and more public, there will be a new influx of institutional money in the industry. That means they will reinvest it to educate more people. And we'll have more, not just people who are coming, as we call them, hamsters, so who are just getting out of the business really quickly because they lose money. But we'll have more educated folks who actually understand what they're doing. I think we're still in the very early stages of adoption, and we need to invest a lot of efforts and money as an industry to educate people.
Okay, so Constantin thinks this is a good thing. Anyone else thinks differently? I'm looking at Mru. I don't know if you can tell.
I gave you my view right in the beginning, what I thought, right? So
okay.
I'm trying to give Rico and Chieh a chance to talk. Yeah.
So no.
We want to hear the Asian view.
No maximalists saying that, becoming all transparent. Oh, Sergey, you want?
Yeah, yes. Let me speak for a while, just for a bit.
Of course.
It's recommendation for all the people living here in Russia, in greatest country on earth. Don't come with crypto here anytime, because starting from the 1st January, quarter of all of your funds you have to give to the regulator. You have to pay for the taxes. Even you just starting using crypto, you have to pay at least quarter of your money to them. Even you can.
No, it's not profits, Sergey.
It's not profit, just for the beginning.
Of the investment. 25% of the investment.
Yes.
Are you joking me? Really? That's the new law.
Yes.
Not profit.
You sure it's not profit?
Yes, it's no profit. It's just for being engaged it somehow in
I need a source. Where did you read that? I need a source.
Yeah, that doesn't
You need
sound
to
right.
verify this.
Double
Yeah.
check it
That
right.
doesn't sound right. Jesus, they will kill the crypto market. They will kill
That
everything.
sound right in Russia, right? In Russia,
It's
that
already
sounds right.
done here. That's why all of us come
Wow.
out from the crypto, and now we're living only for rubles, nothing else.
Yeah.
Do you have-
Sergey, I'll manage your portfolio for you, okay?
One question,
Of
Sergey,
course.
are you being held against your will? If yes, please
Of
wait.
course.
Because I guess what you're saying is something that Russian authorities would like to hear, you know.
No.
Live
He's
in
coming out to
rubles.
live with me.
Okay, so
It's my point of view. You're asking for my point of view. From my point of view, for the newbies, there's no way to starting from anything, because for the beginning, you're just starting, you're already losing at least quarter, maybe a little bit more or less, but it's close to that. That's why no business with the crypto at all here. It's my advice to the lead people who are living here, trying to find out the way on other interesting places. For example, in China or United States, but what I see, there is
Never
no...
United States.
yeah.
It's worse there. It's worse.
We can talk about IRS new regulations if you want.
Yeah,
though.
it'll really mess you up.
okay, so apparently
Catherine,
what I'm
Catherine,
hearing, yeah.
what would you really like? I mean, you keep pushing me. What would you really like me to say? Because I'll be controversial.
No, I'm not. I don't really want you to say anything that you don't want to say. I'm just
I
like,
don't say it.
I'm surprised that there are no maximalists in terms of.
I am.
This is like,
We
this
are.
is wrong. We need. Okay.
Can I tell you what will happen?
Finally. So
Okay,
going
let
back
me
Which is
tell
why I
you-
want him to go first, then I will continue.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Say what I think will happen?
Yeah.
No. Back going public. We're off topic. Back going public. Like
Back going public for like a 2 billion evaluation.
with the merger with the SPAC company. I'm
Spec.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What did you say again?
Backed.
I missed.
Spec company, 2 billion valuation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, does it contradict the philosophy of the industry? Is
What
it a
is the
good
philosophy? There is no market valuation science in the industry.
thing? Well, there is a merger with a traditional stock market, which is definitely not what this industry has been designed for, right? It has been designed to create like an alternative universe with money where there is no governmental control. And by going public and accepting money and becoming transparent that way, you sort of starting to play by the rules. So that's like a little bit useless, you know what I'm saying? So what most likely what Bakkt is trying to do is sort of offer crypto as another financial asset to trade. It is not contributing to the crypto industry itself, right? It's not.
Yeah, so that is for trading. So you are talking about trading right now. So the philosophy for crypto is different, right? Different.
Yeah.
The crypto is meant to not by governed by anyone. So,
Yes.
but when you talk about trading, you have to by government or like get regulated by someone. So is I don't want to I kind of don't want to answer this one.
Can I also add a little bit here? I mean, I just want to, because I think what we have to understand, like, people are saying, oh, we are against institutional adoption, we're against like publicly. I want to explain something very clearly. Like most of the exchanges are doing KYC ML right now. If they would not do it, they will never exist. Number one, no volumes, no trillion valuation, no institutional money, period. Okay, so if people are having doubts about it, just forget about it. Number one. Number two, if not companies like Gemini, Coinbase, CoinShares, other like big institutional players who are creating trusts, where billions of dollars are pouring, like they spend years of lobbying the regulations, years of like improving the understanding of regulators of this market in each country, and respectively, I know more about US, but I know in Switzerland, Singapore, China, many other like big companies, they spend a lot of money to help other players to understand and accept it. So if not that, we would never talk about $1 trillion valuation. So I think there should be a mere level of respect for this, like, not being like, maximalist. Oh, we don't want to, like, I'm sorry, fuck government. Well, great, but that's not the way we grow as an industry.
Okay, that's a very positive answer, and I would put it as a comment in an article. That was good. That was good. So I'm gonna jump to the other question that I have, and so we're all are no okay. Are we all familiar with who Mark Cuban is? Right, we are. No need to explain. Okay, so Mark Cuban, the Shark Tank host, investor, the Dallas Mavericks owner, last night sort of decided to wade in on the current crypto run. And for the sake of it, I'm just going to read it, the first part of it. So because I want you guys to hear what he has to say. And Rue actually has already mentioned something like that about this, the stock bubble, but I'm going to read it. So he wrote last night, watching the cryptos, and I'm reading as it is. Watching the cryptos trade, it's exactly like the internet stock bubble. Exactly. I think BTC, ETH, and a few others will be analogous to those that were built during the dot-com era, survived the bubble bursting, and thrived like Amazon, eBay, and Priceline. Many won't. Along the way, many fortunes will be made and lost, and we find out who has the stomach to hodl and who doesn't. My advice, learn how to hedge. And the last point was that if you are taking on debt to trade crypto, you are a fool and you will lose everything. I mean, we're talking about a guy who compared crypto to bananas in 2019, and he said that they're both collectibles and he would rather have bananas. And so Muru looks like he agrees. So my question is it critical enough? Is it true? And if you have any stories, that's like my personal interest here. If you have any stories of someone who took on debt to trade in crypto and then lost everything, please share. Or maybe they didn't lose everything, right? Maybe they are thriving right now. So Maru, do you agree with Mark Cuban's point, or you think that this is just...
No, but I said it before you even mentioned it, right? So
Yeah.
as you pointed out, because I was there in the valley with Sun Microsystems, they were the people who created that whole .com movement with Java, etc. So I remember days when even going to a hairdresser, your bloody hairdresser is telling you, oh, Bill was here visiting, and Steve Jobs was here, and he says buy this stock and buy that stock. So I just bought it. So there's someone who doesn't have a clue about what I was saying earlier about stay away if you don't know. And shoe shiners in New York, Grand Central one day was saying, oh, what stock shall I buy? I hear you are from Sun Microsystems and you are in the .com. What stock shall I buy? And next thing you know, these guys are buying. And that's what created the momentum. And we've touched on this before. So I see exactly that. Yes, I made tens of millions, and yes, I lost tens of millions. And the same thing over here, personal losses teaches you those lessons. Crypto world, same shit, from 2017, 18. Yes, of course, myself, and I know loads of people who did mortgages of their house who actually put money in crypto, just like the .com days. I know people personally who've lost houses where they borrowed money on top of their houses. Then you got the property crash coming in. So not only did they lose in the .com burst, which went to virtually zero penny stocks, you found the property crash coming, and they lost even in 2008 the property value and the equity they had. So you get a foreclosure situation. So I've seen that. All right. So, it's no science. So we're just talking through experience here. So people who do even margin trading, and I said it earlier at Choose Expense, and I was there at the futures trading options trading platform as well as a CEO, and I said it. That is pure gambling. I'm sorry to say it, that is pure gambling to a certain amount. How can you tell what the price of BTC is going to be in the next minute, 10 minutes, 5 minutes window based on charts and analysis when you don't do what I call market sensitivity, well sentiments, social sentiments? These kind of data you can't get. It is not like trading a Forex market. So those are market sentiments. Psychological. I mean, I'm building a bot just now with even NLP technology and deep learning technology, because all these need to come in before you can do any predictive analysis. So in my bot, when we do this thing with predictive analysis, it's not just your statistics and Fibonacci's and Bollinger Bands and candlesticks with moving averages and all this stuff that most people look at. That is just one side of the analysis and tools. Then you've got to put the strategies. Then you've got to put the market sentiments. Then you've got to put people's psychology, this shoe shiners and hairdressers buying stock just for the heck of it because Catherine mentioned crypto in one of her news articles to say it's hot, so they go and buy it. So Mark Cuban is bang on, but I've been saying it for 25 years as well. So having seen the scars, so it's obvious.
Okay, but then would you rather have bananas?
No, so only risk and spread your risk, what you can afford to lose. Spread your risk. I blatantly mentioned Neo earlier. So, and Rico's pulled me up on this many times. Would you put all your money in Bitcoin or would you put it in somewhere else? He's mentioned it to me loads of times. And my answer has been pretty much consistent. You've got to spread and have a balanced portfolio. I mentioned Neo. Neo did almost 10x on what I had. I mean, which crypto has done 10x that is reliable, audited on the New York Exchange and things like that? How do you do that? And then you look at the market, the EV market, and then you look at why people are investing in the EV market, right? All these things come into play, and then you see who is the multipliers. Tesla is the biggest competitor. Tesla has a 1,500 multiplier on their PEs. I mean, Jesus, Neo has 15 or 20 at best case scenario. So it's got a lot of upside. So you got to look at these things. So 10x there. So why put all your money in just 1, 2 things? Diversify.
Since we're talking, can you sort of try to tell us what kind of portfolio you have? Do you have like pharma stocks? Do you have different cryptos? You don't have to name it.
Steady on. You're with the Russian mafiosi. I'm not lasting. You bloody know. And this guy from bloody Chieh, big time hackers out there.
Yeah, of course.
Romania, so believe me, we know.
No, but I mean, you're talking about diversification and
Yes.
like, you know, Tesla, which is like, again, pretty volatile. This is like...
Here's the ruling. I think I understand what you're trying to ask. Never invest in something you really, really, really don't understand for a start. Okay? So if you don't understand a certain market to do your own due diligence, try not to touch it. If you're just going as a follower of market trends or movements or whatever, look at what the top gainers, losers, all these kinds of things are, and then look to see who the big players are. Don't look at someone at the bottom in the top 50 in the crypto. Don't look at number 48, 49 if you're a newbie, I'm telling you now, okay? And say, oh, this has got so much upside because if Bitcoin went to this goes to this. You know, the number of people I get calls from, and I'm sure all the people around here get calls from, hey, have you heard of Bitcoin? Would you like to invest in it? Because I've got something that will make more than Bitcoin. How many calls do we get and emails and spam and shit you get? Plenty. So it's keep it simple to something you understand or something you can at least read about and make some common sense out of. So I understand technology, being graduate and all that. I understand businesses and entrepreneurships and startups and things like that. I understand real estate. I understand pharma industry. I don't understand too much of this biosciences as such. I don't understand too much of DNA and all these other kinds of amazing 100, 200 multiplier types of stocks as well that you can get. So I don't tend to do that. I used to in the 90s during the .com era, but not anymore. So try and do it to something that you can read about and understand and do your own due diligence. So you understand about cars, you understand about battery powered, you understand about the eco green nature of the world, you understand about how many miles you're going to get on a single charge and how convenient it is. So things that you understand, do it. Things you don't, please stay away. Unless you know how to trade and you know how the stock market works, because it's got nothing to do with you. It's to do with the others. So if you're a psychologist, get into it.
I'm not actually sure that everybody who trades in crypto knows what they're doing. Just
you absolutely bang on, and we covered it earlier.
So you're not gonna tell us about your portfolio, or at
Maybe,
least
Catherine, maybe let's talk about portfolio later. Well, because I wanted to add on before the other question, because I think
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can tell you, but I will tell you sectors. I can tell you sectors.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to you for sectors explanation. Constantin, yes, please.
Yeah, no, I just want to add, like, because look, Mark Cuban, we have to understand who is Mark Cuban, like, because
Oh,
he's
sorry. Well done, Constantin, because what he says influence the markets. I forgot to tell you this, but I can say it.
so
What he
yeah,
says influences the
I may
market.
explain.
So he's already bought that stock before he makes that announcement. Sorry to say that.
He's a big manipulator, and
Big time.
he's coming from a school of thought of concentrated portfolio. That's the same guys like Warren Buffett. They're saying, like, invest in something you fully understand, as Mur was saying, like, and don't diversified portfolio is complete BS. Like, don't even, like, spread yourself thing if you don't understand. Do one thing that you understand, okay? And that's what he did. Actually, he's successful in it. Although I have listened to a lot of his interviews. Several times he mentioned that he got lucky because he was in a very good moment, in a very good timing with his company, and those are other factors that impacted his personal wealth. On the bubble comment, which is very interesting, and so we have a diversified portfolio, like, modern portfolio theory, MPT. So that's like diversification, like, and people who tend to be followers of this strategy and investment thesis, they try to put a little bit in real estate, a little bit in stock market, a little bit in bonds, stocks, whatever the mix would be. Like a balanced portfolio, as Mru mentioned, depends on your aggressiveness, depends on your appetite. If you're in wealth preservation mode, you're already, like, a little bit, like, older, retired, and you don't want to lose money, that's your first goal. Or if you're younger and you want to build wealth, so you can get a lot of risk, you can chew a lot of risk because you want to get there faster. Now that comes, we always have risk reward ratio, right? If the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So I mean, I do agree that it's hard to even advise someone to build a portfolio when you don't have these parameters in mind, because some people are not emotionally stable. They would invest 50% of their money or 100% of their money into crypto, and then they lose something, like, which they haven't even have an understanding how they will survive. So obviously, that's, I think Murn was saying, you have to be very careful, especially with derivative market. Again, not to say, I know Chieh, we touching Overbid. We actually, like, I love Overbid. Like, we trade on a Deribit, and I think derivative market is more for professional traders. Period. You have to understand. The biggest money
There's a lot
I
of
lost.
newbies on derivatives, eh?
Exactly.
A lot of newbies there.
No, you're wiped out. The biggest
Lots of
money, and
newbies.
Catherine, you asked about the story. The biggest time I've lost my money when it was a 6-digit number. I remember I haven't slept for 2-3 days. This margin call I had from Saxo Bank, I remember this moment, I was, I think, 21 or 22, and they call you, like, I'm sorry, like, it was a big position on euro yen, by the way, and I was wiped out immediately. Like, I did not anticipate it was before Christmas.
Been there.
It was insane. I mean, I wanted to cry. I couldn't. I was just like with with my 4 monitors.
We all been there. I know.
All been there.
Yeah, we all been there.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, like, and there was not even my money. Like, some of the monies were investors' money. So that's the hardest part, responsibility. Now, people who went there, like, and they understand how hard it is psychologically. Like, they would never come back, right? And or if they would come back, they would try to change the strategy, right? The bubble narrative, I want to touch it upon really quickly, not to take a lot of time. So it's really funny to me to hear even such reputable people as Mark Cuban just talk about the bubble, because they do understand. People always bring it up, like Tulip bubble, like, the South Sea bubble, like, then .com, we have a housing bubble. But the funny thing is, if we analyze especially the latest bubbles, who actually bear all the risks? The banks, the institutions. Not a single banker in the housing crisis went to jail. Not a single one. They get golden parachutes. Someone who doesn't know this concept, they get, like, $50 to $40 million, in addition to to stealing billions of dollars from regular U.S. taxpayers. And we live in a bubble. Most of the economies, including US, Japan, a lot of economies, they are bubbles. They're reselling debt to each other. So Yeah, crypto is probably another bubble. It is true, but what do we compare it to? Like, are we comparing apples to apples, or or apples to oranges? I think this is important. If we want to have educated conversation, we need to understand, unfortunately, that we're living in a huge economical bubble, and it's global.
It's decentralized bubble one. It's never ever exists. Yes, it's another kind of bubble. That's why maybe we are here. I'm sorry.
And can I just quickly go back to your point of, you said that Mark Cuban is like a manipulator. Does it mean that he's just trying to manipulate I wanted to say the stock, but the price to his advantage for some reason? I know, Maru, that you're sort of I know your point of view there, that everybody.
But Jamie and all these people did the same thing, so it's not even a question. It's public information.
In a way, look, I don't think he's able to manipulate easily the price of Bitcoin right now. Would he try if he gets to this asset class? For sure. Like, as everyone else, like, of his caliber, of those people, that's
how do you know he doesn't have it?
I know. I'm saying if he would get into it, he might have it. There's
pretty sure.
I will just finish with this very old school rule of traders, which I'm sure everyone knows here. Like, but maybe for your viewers, it'll be interesting. Buy the rumor, sell the fact.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
but Elon Musk did the same thing. Was it last quarter? He made a throw out comment as well when the whole rally started. He says, why am I keeping all my money like this? I'm just going to keep it in Bitcoin and start paying people in Bitcoin and things like that. So, these guys, they've bought.
Oh, okay. So, but the public knowledge of how much Bitcoin Elon Musk actually owns, he said that he owns 1.25 Bitcoins here. So you're sort of saying that he's lying, right?
Catherine.
Yeah.
This is the beauty about cryptocurrencies. No one knows who owns what.
Very good point. Yes.
Welcome to decentralization.
I have to ask it because, that's sort of my job.
No one knows. No one knows who owns what. I can tell you Rico is sitting on 1 billion the way he's sitting. It's all down to body language.
What is interesting, we actually do know when publicly traded companies as MicroStrategy, Square, and others, they invest in Bitcoin, that should be disclosed. We don't know individuals, but if we consider that when Elon Musk actually publicly asked Michael Saylor on Twitter, asking like, can you even buy like billions of worth of Bitcoin? And he said, yeah, no problem. As a rocket scientist, I will help you. So that if that will happen, in Tesla will put on their balance sheet Bitcoin, we will know about it.
Okay, and then Chieh mentioned that we all been there. Are you talking about like losing a lot of money in crypto or on the stock market bets? Can you share a little bit?
Yeah, on the stock market, on the Forex, I think we are here for like 30 or 40 age, around that, right? So you guys have been to the Forex, stock, probably real estate. Okay.
All of a sudden, you're my friend. Futures market is fantastic.
I know you're young.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm pointing at. And the other way, if you look at when you guys talk about diversify, but you bear in mind that we are human beings, we are greedy, we are selfish, we are, sometimes dumb. I'm living in Hong Kong. The country next to me is Macau. Macau made their profit, like I think 70% from casino. And those people are coming from China. They made like over, I think 40 billion US dollar per year, Macau, from just casino. So you can see how many people want to gamble. So when Constantin say, or Maria say, derivatives gamble, yes, it is. But like, it's a risk of gamble, right? If you go to a casino, people will think, I have 50% to win.
No, I won't say 50-50. 80-20, 90-10.
Yeah, so normal people will say probably 50-50. Then if you go to derivative or forex or
Same
stock,
thing,
you will
80,
say,
20,
oh, I
90,
have higher chance to win. So
Yes.
everything we doing by saying investment is sort of gambling. So it depends on how you want to build your portfolio, how you want to build your wealth. So for Asia, especially for Chinese, yes, we like that. We like to gamble.
Yes.
We like to do derivative.
Guys, let's jump to another space of the world, another place of the world. It's Dubai.
Dubai.
What's
Wait,
yes?
George,
what
is-
Dubai says? What looks like? George, your
Jorge.
turn. I don't know. I want to engage you some.
He's alive. I thought there was a poster there. I thought that was your photograph. It wasn't moving.
Yeah.
It wasn't moving at
He was
all. I
listening
thought
very
you just
carefully
put
to
a
what
poster
all of
and
us
walked
were
away.
saying. Yeah.
No,
No?
I've been quite listening. Sometimes it's good to
Yeah.
listen and not to say
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah. No, I
I
thought that was a
agree.
poster.
Josh,
But since
I'm
you
on
asked
with
for,
you, man.
but since you asked for my opinion, let me maybe give you my opinion, at least for whatever it's worth. First, I believe there is many things that we're mixing, and it's important. One is what we would call institutional investors, and the other one is people that pretend to be investors and have no clue what they're doing. The first one the second one has got no chance against the first one. The second thing is what we would call short-term versus long-term strategies, meaning, I mean, you can buy Bitcoin and keep it for 5-10 years. And the other one is you can keep and buy Bitcoin or any other asset of that class for 1 day, 1 hour, 5 minutes, what we sometimes call high frequency trading. And I think what we have to understand is in today's world, the winners are machines, not people. So the people that actually have coded the algorithms are the ones that are making money. Everybody else is losing money. That's the fact. Let's face it. I mean, it's as simple as that. So the other thing is that people believe that somehow the markets are not influenced, not manipulated. That's bullshit. I mean, everything is about insider trading. Everything is about manipulation. Everything is about, oh, give me this tip and I will tell you what's going to happen. Of course, the people that have the insider knowledge or have the capacity to influence the market, they drive the market. And that's as simple as that. Everybody else is just little clueless of what's going on. Now, in the case of the traditional stock market, because the number of people that are actually involved in that stock market is much larger, it is much more difficult to influence the market. However, in the crypto space, because it's much smaller, a very few set of people are able to completely change and manipulate the market behind and above your eyes. And if you think it's the people, no, these are robots that the people coded. So you're not traded against those people, you're trading against the robots that those people coded and decide ahead of time what's going to happen. Then you think, oh, wow, or I predicted this because of this. Excuse me, either you write the robot and you made money, or you're a fool, or you happen to just be lucky. I think you probably have more chance either blackjack in casino. Anything else is Russian roulette.
On that very positive note, well
yeah,
done,
being
George.
ruled by Russians. Okay, I'm joking.
No, but I mean Russian roulette on the positive sense. I mean, you
I know,
actually
I know.
you win the jackpot.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to make a joke. So at this point, we have to finish our delightful conversation. But before we go, just a quick, a little bit quick conclusion from me, and then you guys just want to jump in and say a few words. So what we've discussed is that we're gonna definitely see the price of Bitcoin and the entire like market cap of the crypto industry going high, as high as high as possible, but we're not sure. That's the conclusion. And then backed going public through a merger with a SPAC company is good. It's a good sign for adoption. And Mark Cuban either holds or not. We're not sure. I'm kidding. I'm just like trying to be funny. But as you know, I want you all guys to sort of, as this is our first episode of the year, I want you guys to finish with a couple of words of what 2021 is going to look like for the crypto industry in your opinion, and if you can share what sort of portfolio you have in terms of like percentage, or do you hold stocks or only crypto, that would be also very cool. So let's start with Rico.
So I'm one of those people and the groups that are actually running on futures for crypto, and we run it by our own bots, proprietary strategies. We run on 41 pairs currently on one of the centralized exchanges with the biggest liquidity in the world in the crypto space. And we have been hitting on average 1 to 3% every day profit. So that's what we have been doing for quite some time now. We also do spot deals on and off where we have like very obvious market sentiments and intelligence, or whatsoever that we call it. And sometimes when we see some big shots try to call bluff, we know what's going to happen next. So we just go in and either we short or long it. So that's something that we do quite constantly, and we have our own team of professional traders operating 24/7 for us. So I think that concludes our positionings and our sets of things. I think most of you know what portfolios we are carrying with that numbers. For this year, for Bitcoin, I would comment that the highest point would be around 130 grand this year in 2021. So I think that's very possible, and I'm very, very conservative about that figure in 2021. And if more supports or more formal comes in, I think we can easily go much more higher than that. So I think, as I mentioned earlier on in the middle of that talk today, the all-time high lowest should be around 50,000 US dollar.
Okay, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. Okay, Chieh, can you share a little bit of your thoughts and portfolio?
So this year, my first thing is I hope I can fly again. No, this is like really, I hope that. If you look at the market, for us, we want volatile market, okay. But if you look at long term, Bitcoin, I believe will go behind 100K. That's for sure for long term. I don't know. I cannot say how long, but in 2021, we will keep seeing big correction, and also we have really strong institutional support, like for the Bitcoin price or in crypto in general. So the price won't go down like to 20 or 15K. I don't think it would happen this year. So this is, I think do I answer your questions or?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just to follow up. So you mentioned that it's going to go as high as 100,000, right? Did you mean
not this year, but then
not this year? Okay,
mm-hmm.
Got it. And your portfolio, do you trade crypto and or stocks?
No, I don't trade. I let people to trade.
Okay. Okay, nice. Very well put. Okay.
Builds the machines to take the money, like Macau. They build the casinos to take the money.
Yeah, they have the machines right
George
there.
says, he who builds the machine or the building to gamble, those are the people taking the money.
Yeah.
And how many traders have you hired?
No, we don't hire traders.
Right now. We doing what?
Okay, Jorge, can you please share with us your thoughts?
I think that 2021 is going to be an interesting year. I think we saw the first 6 or 7 days of the year. If that's an indication of what's coming, I think 2020 was just an experiment, and I think 2021 is going to be the real thing. What do I mean by that is I do believe that 2021 will probably be even more unstable than 2020. I think there's trouble in the horizon. I don't know where it will be coming from, but definitely the recipes for trouble are all there. There's people vying for number one position, who controls the world, and when this happens, this is a recipe for trouble. Now, when this trouble happens, what are the asset classes that are a good refugee? Typically, in this case, probably gold or Bitcoin would be an edge against that trouble. However, them by themselves, it may not be enough. And we have observed in the past that in times of trouble, even Bitcoin actually crashes from time to time. I do believe with Liu that yes, because of the nature of Bitcoin, eventually it will reach 100, 150, but it may take anywhere from 2 to 3 years. Could it take 1 year, like Rico said? On the optimistic side is yes, but 2021, I think, still has a lot of surprises for us. And those surprises are not going to be so easy to deal with. So let's see what it is. I'm not going to predict the price because there's not really, we don't have enough information. It's like a random number generator. So if you like mathematics, you just throw the dice and whatever number comes up, it's a matter of luck, more not based on rationale at this stage.
And just to confirm, when you say unstable, this year is going to be unstable, are you referring to the markets or the entire?
No, I'm talking the world as it is, and of course the markets will have to react to whatever happens in the world. So if, for example, there is a war in the Middle East, or if there's a war bigger than the Middle East, then the markets suffer directly the consequences of such activities. And you cannot use the market as a pillow in the sense, oh, it's going to save me. I think, for example, even this thing, like we're going through COVID-19, yes, we have a vaccine, but we have to vaccinate the people and we have to get the actions in place. And so far, we have only, 1 or 2% effect on trying to control the current situation. And I'm only talking about COVID itself. I'm not talking about the other pressures that we have around the world. So if you put this, you basically have a recipe for instability. Now, in instability, there's a lot more money to be made than during stable times. I do agree with that, but that's only for the people that gamble correctly.
But then the motto is 2020 unstable. Okay.
Well, without question.
Yeah. So my last question to you is, like, do you trade or do you use other people trade for you?
I let the computers do that kind of job.
Okay. Maru.
So let me add to the rest of the people and put some reason, or as George touched on, why I think 2021 will be the way it is going to be. So you can call it prediction, you can call it whatever. So if you think about, and George touched on it, the COVID thing, I've been talking about this since July, August through my Let's Beat Corona website. If you think, we haven't even seen any major effect of the impact of COVID, job losses, etc. Okay? So if you now think vaccines have come out, and depends which report you look at, I don't believe that 90% accuracy exists. I think it's more like 40, 50%, because it's already changed its look, feel, shape. If you just look at what's happened in the UK and parts of Africa, and now I see a spike even in Dubai, which I thought was a very safe place. So even places like Dubai now are banned coming back into UK without quarantine because of the spike. So the nature of this virus has changed everything we do. And think about where you would invest on the back of that. So businesses closing, employment's going down, anything to do with hospitality, flights, and I know Chieh likes to fly, so do I. It stopped, okay? My first flight was after 1 year from Miami, and now I've just gone from Bucharest to Valencia before Christmas. But look at the industries it affects. It affects anything to do with food, restaurants, hotels, flights, cleaning services, etc. Just based on that one example. So those are the stocks you shouldn't be buying, okay? Unless you see a solid upturn coming in. So when you see a solid recovery and vaccines are going to work and 30% of a country's population has been vaccinated or something like that, that's when you get into that market if you are not risk averse. If you're risk averse, go for it when you want, when the dip comes in. Then you look at why crypto market, in my view, will go, and I tend to agree with what Rico is saying around the 150 mark. But let me give you the reason why. Dollar currently, and I touched on it with the new Dems taking over with their policies, they will going to print money even more. Okay, so all the ultra high net worths, institutions, all of these people will say, hang on, our money at risk, our taxes are going up. We need to put some money in a store of value that is going to stay there and hodl it and keep it safe, secure, etc. What does that do to the market? Bitcoin price goes up. George touched on it with gold. So, we are a gold pegged coin ourselves. There's a reason for that, because in times of trouble, that's one commodity you can look, feel, see, touch, and know what the price is. Unfortunately, Bitcoin doesn't have that stigma with a vast population of the world that you can look, feel, see, touch it. So Bitcoin is the digital version of the gold, and a lot of people are getting into it over the last year or so now at the institution banks level, because those are the people you need. So even those guys will hedge with the digital money on top of the gold that they already have, right? So you will find that driving the market up as well. The next thing that will drive the market up is when people are unemployed. What do? They are at home, they got a lot of spare time, they get innovative, they try and wreck their brains, they want to do something new, creative. So entrepreneurship, startups, new exchanges, new bots, new this, new that will start happening. So there'll be a new way of the world in the digital transformation world where people will create and innovate more than what we've seen ever before. Okay? We are not known for innovation of the last decade that much. Bitcoin helped it. And now you'll see all that blockchain established with lots more innovation because of all that people focusing that time now during the lockdown phase. Okay. So what does that do to the market? It brings it up again. Hence why I think some of these reasons with even companies now, they're cutting costs a lot because of working from home. So office spaces, real estate will crash. So we haven't even seen a property crash like 2008. I think it'll get worse this year. So if you're a real estate investor and coming back to a balanced portfolio, you should put some in there. So I see big deals coming in, lots of foreclosures, people without jobs can't pay their mortgages, whatever. Businesses don't need offices, a lot of commercial stock coming into the market at 20, 30 cents to the dollar. So commercial buildings will change their face totally because a lot of companies have already started the work from home policy by force rather than, by design. So you will see hotel spaces as well going down. I cannot see this travel ban and thing happening until at least Q3 of this year in a free way. But even that, I'm being optimistic because a pessimism side of me says next year, okay? Because the vaccines that are being created will not 100% cure and make it freely available because you're still supposed to do this. So the momentum will not happen till next year, in my view. So all that brings a downturn to the market, be it real estate, hospitality, travel, food industry, okay? So these markets stay away from investing, in my view, unless you want to take some risk and a punt at it, but it's still too early. Don't buy real estate now. It's going to carry on going down. Don't buy stocks into travel, restaurants, or hospitality kind of things. They are going to go down more, in my view. don't put all your money into dollar equity fiat, because devaluation is happening, in my view. Okay, don't put your money into things that you don't understand in terms of market conditions. Even if you jump onto the Bitcoin or the crypto market or the blockchain market or the DeFi, NFT, whatever, don't jump into it now, because it's way too volatile, and it's going to get even more volatile in this year. Stick to some core ones, and I see. Before Rico calls me on it, I see a 140 to 150 very easily, because the store of value will increase, because all these things we've talked about today, people will look for an alternative. Not everyone cannot put it all in gold or solid things like that. They've got to find alternatives and hedge themselves. So that's where the hedge is coming.
Yeah, thank you, because I was going to interrupt you, but thank you so much. Constantin, you have like a minute left, right? Would you like to say something?
I hope I would have more, but again, Mur was on his passionate, like, so I mean, just to add, not to contradict anything, I think, that's a very interesting view. Look, we're financial asset managers, wealth managers. We have wealth management division. We're seeing a big spike of institutions and private investors, not only crypto whales, but people who actually are interested. Like, we do derivative and lending programs, and it's quite successful. We have our Bitcoin Income and Growth Fund, for example, the one that is trading covered call options, also did amazing. Like, again, I cannot disclose the percentage, but it did like really well, so last year. And the general feeling that there is a demand, and as we understand, something like Bitcoin as an asset class is scarce, so we will see the increase in price naturally, I think. Because it's just an interesting alternative, as Muro mentioned. Like, we did a lot of analysis in comparison to gold, and I do believe that right now we're seeing an interesting digital gold. Jack Dorsey, in his interview with Joe Rogan, said a very interesting thing. He mentioned that internet will have its own currency. He said, I don't know whether it's going to be Bitcoin or not, but digitalization is a new trend as we see it, and it's definitely going to have its own currency, and we'll see whether Bitcoin is going to be a contender for that. So right now it's looking like it's becoming at least the first version, let's put it this way. So, and the other thing, what I would say, like, generally, I'm very positive in what's happening. I don't want to predict any prices, because we did, like I mentioned before with Rico, also his analysis, I loved it. So I actually saw a wall. Just wanted to say, I looked at my charts. I saw a wall that people will repurchase at 23,000. So we might go in a different direction. So, but what I want to say, that I really don't care about it. What I care, that we grow steadily, like, as an industry, and I think that is more important, that we win hearts and minds. And I think educating people and providing them like more rational, view of, we're not like drug dealers, we're not trying to money launder. We are trying to improve the life of people and provide more freedom, more transparency, and give them the power, give them the Swiss bank in their pocket, and reassure them that they will control their money, their funds. I think with this in mind, we will actually win hearts and minds. And last thing I would say, just I don't know if you follow Telegram, but just received an interesting notification. Telegram now have 500 million users. In the last 72 hours, they have more than 25 million users now around the world joined.
Yeah, but that's because of what Facebook and WhatsApp is doing, stealing your data. It's obvious. Yes. Same with Signal.
So this
I've done a video on that, by the way.
I do foresee that we're going to see more decentralized social networks in the future. There will appear, we might not see it right now, not TikTok, not Telegram, not Signal, but more something different that will appear. There will be alternative that will make you owner of your data. And I think that is very important for the entire industry, for the technology, not just for the speculation. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you for being here with us, for your thoughts. So on this very positive note, where we are currently moving to a phase where apps and different applications and technology is going to give us an opportunity to own our own data. I hope it's going to happen someday. And Trump actually just over the weekend announced that he's probably going to work on a social network of his own. Just like a news piece that I'm throwing at you. But on this like very positive and not stable note, I would say we're gonna finish our segment. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your thoughts. And I hope to see you all next Tuesday.
Thank you, guys. Yes, I really like the words of Chieh. He says that I hope I can fly again. I want to remind to all of you, we do not even have a chance to fly over thousands of years, but we have somehow survived, and now we haven't any chance to fly just 1 year, and we can't wait to fly again. Thanks a lot. Do not stop dreaming. We're making this world happen together. Thanks a lot to all of you. See you on the next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.